You will now use your knowledge of writing equations to write an equation for real-life scenarios. Here's an example. We have George is buying video games online. The cost of the video is $15 per game. He spent a total of $90. How many games did he buy in all? So reading this over, let's pull out the pieces of information that are important and put them in place to translate to an equation. So again, the first piece of information is the cost of the video games is $15 per game. So think, what would $15 per game translate to in terms of expressions and numbers and operations? We also are given the information that he spent a total of $90. So again, think, if he spent a total of $90, what would that translate to in terms of symbols and numbers and operations? And finally, we come to the question, how many games did he buy in all? How many games did he buy in all? What would that translate to in terms of the equation? What are these? These are 3 key pieces of information in order to answer this question and solve this problem. Well, notice that the video games are per game. We are never told how many games he bought, so we have to use a variable to represent the number of games. So we're going to use the variable G. You could use any letter you want, but G is coming from per game. It's the first letter of game, so it helps you remember that's what the variable represents. And then per is going to refer to multiplication. So $15 per game translates to 15 times G, or just 15G. Now, he spent a total of $90. A total is a keyword for the equal sign. So we know that the total means equals. So $90 total means we're going to equal 90. Now, how many games did he buy in all? This means we are solving for G. We're solving for that variable, that unknown. This is the question we need to answer. So now let's put it all together and then solve. So we have the cost of one video game is 15. Now that's per each game, so that was times our variable G for the number of games. Equals, we had a total of the amount he spent, which is 90. So our equation we're using is 15G equals 90. Now to solve, we need to get that variable, that G, by itself on the left side of the equal sign. And right now it's being multiplied with 15. So if we have 15G equals 90, we can do the inverse of multiplying by 15 and divide by 15. But if I do that to the left side of the equation, I also have to do it to the right. So if we divide, that will give us G equals 6. So that means if he spent $90 total and the cost of one video game was $15, that means he bought 6 video games because we solved the equation and we got an answer of 6. So he bought 6 video games. So we can use writing equations from a situation, from the words, to solve that equation, to actually answer the situation, to answer that problem.